Alexandre Sarr has been a popular name amongst prospects for a few years now. His physical and athletic tools are second to none, and he's always brimmed with potential. While there have never been concerns over his physical gifts, there were some questions surrounding his processing speed and defensive consistency. Within the first couple of weeks of the NBL season, though, Sarr has not only quelled those concerns, but he is now looking like one of the very best defenders in the 2024 NBA draft. Whether it's switching on the perimeter, showing different looks in the pick and roll, or protecting the rim, Sarr has all the defensive tools that teams dream of in their big men. Welcome to Film School. Let's dive in. To fully appreciate the good, we also have to look at some of the concerning aspects of Alexandre Sarr's defense, and let's start on the perimeter. Alright, as the ball handler initiates the offense here, they're just going to run a standard pick and roll that Sarr switches on. As he drives, we're going to see Sarr do something that a lot of young big men do, and that's to completely turn their hips and shoulders to chase on the side or try and even cut off the ball handler. We see Victor Wembanyama do this all the time, and it leaves them really vulnerable to step backs because their momentum is taking them all the way towards the baseline and leaves them really vulnerable to the step back. So as the ball handler continues to attack, he knows that he has Sarr beat once Sarr turns his hips and his shoulders. We can see him plant that left foot to initiate the step back, and that's going to send Sarr the other way a couple steps just because his momentum's carrying him so far and his entire body is oriented in that direction. He just physically can't react quick enough, and that's not an indictment on him. That's an indictment on just the kind of sloppy fundamentals and the inconsistency and understanding of length, which, again, we see all the time in young big men. But this is a really good move by the ball handler to create a ton of space on this mid-range pull-up. Ideally, Sarr would have let him kind of get past him and then use his athletic tools to contest and affect the shot from behind. The ball handler gets a really good look here and just can't quite get the shot to fall. While there are some of those occasional lapses where Sarr is a little too eager to turn his hips and his shoulders, there are also a lot of really incredible performances of on-ball defense like we see here. Alright, as the Ignite run this set, they're going to try and peel off the shooter. It's a pretty creative and solid set where they're going to use their shooter as the initial screener and then have him peel off this second screen where Alex Sarr is really tight on Eric Mika. From the ball handler's point of view, the shooter's wide open right now because he can't see Sarr. Sarr is doing a really great job of staying in tune to the play and has really good off-ball awareness and positioning here and nearly takes the pass the other way. As he scrambles here to recover, he does a great job of getting back rimside and gets matched up on Ron Holland, one of the more athletic prospects in the entire 2024 draft. The big thing here is make sure to keep an eye on how stellar Sarr's footwork is here. He has tremendous balance, he has tremendous instincts, the footwork is impeccable, while on the previous clip we saw his fundamentals get a little sloppy, a little inconsistent, a little lazy. On this clip here, they are absolutely perfect. His ability, the way he slides his feet, allows him to constantly cut off drives. He absorbs the contact, he walls up, he anticipates where the ball handler is trying to attack and moves his feet in a way that allows him to be on balance and then react to every single counter move. It is absolutely perfect on-ball defense from a 7-footer. Sarr has been awesome on defense overall, but his pick and roll coverage has definitely been the most inconsistent factor of his defense. So early this season, Sarr has really been instructed to hard hedge, blitz, really put high pressure on the ball handler coming out of pick and rolls. That can pay dividends given his ability to switch and fluidity and athleticism on the perimeter, but as we can see in this instance, it gets him in a lot of trouble. So as his man goes to set the screen, Sarr's sole focus is on the ball handler, and this lapse in awareness completely makes him forget or ignore the fact that his man is also capable of ghosting or slipping the screen. So Sarr is in great position to pressure the ball handler, but as his man ghosts the screen, Sarr is now way out of position to deal with it. So as the pass is made, his man immediately has a wide open lane to the rim. Sarr is a full step behind, and the weak side help is out of position since his man was relocating to the opposite corner, and they give up the dunk. Even when Sarr has played drop coverage, he struggled with the consistency of his positioning. Right, so as Sydney runs the handoff here, this is a great example of how hesitation and indecisiveness and a failure to commit to one defensive coverage over the other can really get a young center in a lot of trouble. So Sarr begins to backpedal like he's supposed to be playing drop coverage. However, he kind of freezes, pauses, doesn't really commit to it, and his initial positioning is so high that you would almost think that he's supposed to be blitzing or really pressuring Denzel Valentine here. But his instincts kind of draw him back into coverage. That failure to really commit to either the hard hedge or the drop coverage results in him just kind of being in no man's land here. As we can see, he's just at the free throw line, not defending anyone. He's putting zero pressure on the ball. He's giving his assignment a wide open lane to roll to, and all of that space around the rim is completely unguarded because Sarr has just found himself lost in no man's land. Denzel Valentine is able to throw the easy lob. Even when Sarr's positioning isn't pristine, he has the athletic tools to make up for it. Right, so we saw Sarr almost get the recovery block in the previous clip because of his freakish athletic tools, despite the poor positioning, but this time we actually see him execute it. As the Ignite run this high pick and roll, Sarr is again caught in no man's land. He is supposed to be playing drop coverage here, but his initial positioning is way too high, and the fact that he is square with his defender, or with his assignment right now, is already a sign that he's theoretically lost. The vast majority of defenders would have zero chance of recovering here, especially since his positioning is leaving a huge gap for that pocket pass to be made. What's so impressive, though, is how fluidly Sarr is able to flip his hips and slingshot his momentum back towards the rim. This is where the athletic tools are so impressive. He matches his jump timing with his man and meets the shot at the apex despite being way out of position in the initial drop coverage. The athletic tools allow him to recover here and get the block. Even though there have been some inconsistencies with Sarr's pick and roll coverage, the promising signs are that his shot blocking and athletic tools are always there, and he's improving by the game. Alright, so Sarr just kind of initially here does a great job of deterring the ball handler. So as it's a similar situation to what we saw earlier during the ghost screen, where the ball handler just immediately denies the screen because he doesn't want to get trapped out here in the corner, out by half court, by Sarr and his initial defender, and the screener goes to slip it. Instead of being out of position, Sarr has great situational awareness, sticks with his man on the slip screen, and the ball handler just resets here late in the clock. As the ball handler drives, it initially looks like Sarr is about half a second late on this rotation, but he actually times it to perfection, because if he is already at the top of the restricted arc to meet the ball handler, he's giving up that dump off pass to his man, who's probably going to get the easy score. Instead, by being just fractionally late and just holding his ground for that split second, Sarr times his rotation to perfection. He's able to get the ball handler in the air, which takes away any opportunity for that dump off pass. Sarr is also able to use his explosiveness and his length, where he's able to leap from the left side of the basket and use his length to affect and block the dunk on the other side of the rim. This time we see some of the benefits of Sarr playing at the level and really being able to switch onto smaller opponents out on the perimeter without getting in trouble, as he really shows off his footwork and his hips and blocks the shot. While playing at the level is kind of becoming more of a norm, most bigs aren't doing this in the NBA. So Sarr just immediately switches, and most ball handlers are salivating at this opportunity right now. As the season goes on and as Sarr continues to make this big of an impact, they're going to stop getting excited about this supposed mismatch. As the ball handler drives, Sarr does a great job of opening up his hips and really effectively flipping them back and forth to stay with the drive. He really shows off his balance, his footwork. As we saw in the earlier clips of his kind of sloppy fundamentals and his inability to trail the defender, this is the exact opposite of it. From here, Sarr isn't worried about cutting off the drive because he knows he has the size and length and explosiveness advantage. Instead, he's going to stay on the hip and keep the ball handler in front of him in a place where he knows he can control him and react. As the drive continues, Sarr times his jump to perfection in sync with the ball handler, uses his size and length to engulf the shot, and swats it away. Even though Sarr hasn't played much drop coverage, he is consistently getting better at it by the game with better positioning and understanding of distances. So as Brisbane run the side pick and roll, Sarr's going to show more at the level to kind of bait his man into slipping the screen into space, which would essentially negate any effect the screen would have and eliminate the need for Sarr to switch on ball, which is exactly what happens. From here, Sarr does a great job of positioning himself between the ball and his man to negate any passing lanes and numbers advantage Brisbane would have on that opposite side of the court. Additionally, Sarr does a really good job of staying out of the way of his teammate. He doesn't feel the need that he has to cut off this drive because he knows that he has the athletic tools and the physical tools that give him the advantage the closer to the rim they get. They're essentially laying a trap for the ball handler to attack into, which the ball handler, as we saw, is more than eager to take. On top of that, Sarr knows that he has his teammate as the low man rotating over, who's even going to slow down the ball handler just a little bit more. As the drive continues, Sarr is just been lurking in the shadows waiting to pounce as his teammates have disrupted the ball handler enough where Sarr doesn't have to make an outstanding play, he just has to be in the right spot at the right time. He times his jump to perfection and blocks the shot that the ball handler never had a chance of scoring. Again, we see Sarr's improved positioning, timing, and awareness in the drop coverage. Right, so this is the most kind of mature approach that Sarr's had to a kind of pseudo drop coverage in the pick and roll. He's initially showing at the level here just to make sure that he's not giving up a clear and obvious drive to the rim or mid-range pull-up, but we can also see that he's staying attached to his man to make sure that he's not going to get beat on a slip or ghost screen here. As the ball handler comes off, Sarr does a great job of positioning himself where a pocket pass is almost impossible here, but he's also denying a clear path to the rim for the ball handler and is just kind of getting in his way, affecting his eye line, and making things kind of more crowded and more hectic for him. Sarr's going to stay with him for another step or two, and then he retreats just that step back to his man to make sure that he's in position to deny any slip pass, or even in a better position where if the ball handler tries to throw a lob, Sarr is in perfect position where he can at least jump and contest it. At the same time, he is baiting the ball handler into taking a shot here, just begging for him to take it, and where he can pounce and swat it away. The ball handler obliges, and Sarr swats it the other direction. The final crucial aspect of Sarr's defense is his weak side playmaking. So as Melbourne run the side pick and roll, we can see that Sarr is at the top of the key, not directly involved in the pick and roll. As the ball handler comes off the screen, though, he sees all of this just acres of empty space for Hukporti to roll into in just a massive passing window that is begging him to make a pocket pass. It's a dream situation for a pick and roll ball handler right here looking to set up his teammate on the roll. What he fails to account for, though, is that Alex Sarr is just licking his lips, begging to crash down from the top of the key. As the pass is made, Sarr times his rotation to perfection, where he's not going too early to leave his man completely wide open at the top of the key, but he crashes right when that pass is made and uses his hands to poke the ball loose. Sarr's weak side defensive playmaking is also a major factor when he's around the rim. So as the ball swings to Tyler Smith in the corner, he does a really good job here of attacking baseline. Now, it's early in the season, so I'm going to forgive him for it, and it gave us this Alex Sarr highlight, so not too much to complain about, but he probably should be making this skip pass along the baseline to Buzelis in the corner. However, Smith is eager to score, eager to make an impact, so he attacks the rim. As this drive is being made, Sarr does a really good job of positioning himself to make a play. Instead of staying on the lower block or immediately going over to the opposite block where he would be abandoning his man in the middle of the lane or being late and probably fouling Smith at the rim, Smith repositions himself to the middle of the lane. This allows him to elevate at the same time as Smith and affect the shot on either side of the rim that Smith goes up. As they jump, we can see that Sarr's left hand is on the left side of the rim, gets the ball, and his right hand initially went up on the right side and came back over to the left. Really impressive positioning, use of length, and adjustment midair. From here, Sarr does a great job of then recovering and not staying directly under the rim, but taking that extra little step towards Smith to make sure that he's in better position. From here, he stays vertical and affects the shot. Finally, this is just a good old-fashioned block fest from Sarr as he just shows off his instincts, his timing, his discipline, and his freakish athletic tools. So as this play develops, Sarr has gotten switched on to London Johnson and is out on the perimeter. He just kind of has a lazy dig attempt, which doesn't really lead to anything, but it does turn his focus from the perimeter to the interior, which leads him to seeing Modest Buzelis making a really nice cut from the corner, completely unmarked, and what should, in most cases, result in an easy score at the rim. Instead, Sarr's focus has now shifted from the perimeter back towards the rim, and he crashes really hard. As he does so, he jumps perfectly with Buzelis and swats the initial shot attempt. What is so impressive here is that Sarr doesn't get intoxicated by the thrill and the excitement of that first block, and he stays disciplined and continues to show off his shot blocking prowess. Buzelis spins back middle and uses a little shot fake that Sarr stays grounded on. It would have been really easy for him to bite and jump at that shot fake and likely would have led to a foul, but Sarr stays on his feet and stays vertical. That leads to Buzelis throwing up kind of a sorry excuse for a shot that Sarr again turns away.